So what does your crypto journey look like? It could play out several different ways. Most of us came into crypto after someone we knew made serious gains in crypto, and that caught our attention. We then started looking deeper into it, didn't we? And we started down the crypto rabbit hole, which seems deep and endless. But what are we really here for? Let's not lose sight of that. I don't know about each of you specifically, but if you, like me, want to be part of something that would change the world, but likely you also, very importantly, wanted to change your financial situation for forever. Like, I grew up in a relatively modest home, I would say poor, probably upper lower class, and I wanted something different. Now, our journey down this rabbit hole started, but this rabbit hole has several different potential endings. And one or of the two of them have a very nice financial reward ending, and some of the other potential endings are financial devastation. The choices you are making in your education is going to help you choose the better doors as you grow through this wonderland. Today we are talking about those choices as they help us on the path to crypto wealth in 2022. Today's episode is possibly one of the most important ones all year that I've done. We're near the end, if not at the end, of the crypto pullback that has plagued us for the last 2 months, and we are ready to rock and roll. But how clear are you on what you want to achieve? Because if it isn't clear enough, you might miss everything you really want. So strap in, stay tuned, make it rain on that like button. Welcome to the Crypto Rain channel. I'm your host, Jay Rain, and if you like money in crypto and you're looking for a real investor's take on the crypto market, join the Rainmaker family by liking this video and subscribing with that all notifications bell enabled. Special note, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm a crypto investor myself, and I share with you how I think about crypto, the crypto market, and specific cryptos I like, and I share with you why I like them. For myself, crypto has taken my portfolio from thousands to millions, and I share with you how the Rainmaker system I created leads to amazing results. Note, I do own or plan to own most of what I talk about on this channel because I don't talk about crypto projects that I don't believe in. We do want to thank our Patreon members. We have a private Discord that our Patreon members get access to. There is a link below to Patreon if that interests you. Because it is a closed group, there is even more I'm able to discuss there that I can't in other settings. When you join us here, when you join us there, you will see more of what I'm talking about, though I do share a ton of alpha directly on this show. So tune in here. If you don't want to do the Patreon, that's fine. Join us here and you will get a ton of alpha, hopefully more than you see anywhere else. Now, at the beginning of this, it has a little disclaimer often that says sponsor disclaimer. If it says that, it's because of our strategic relationship with WAN Chain and also Kitsumon, who have been good to us and have given us goodies to give away to you. They give us 500 WAN from WAN Chain every month to give away to the audience, and Kitsumon is going to load us up with some NFTs in the coming week to give to the audience. That's going to be a lot of fun. So make it rain on that like button. Strap in for the show. Let's welcome our producer, D-Money, joining me in the Crypto Rain Command Center.
Hey, what up, Jay? How's it going?
Fan-freaking-tastic.
I agree. I'm looking at the chat. A lot of good friendly faces to see. What's up, Chris? What's up, too? Good evening, Richard says. Don't know where he is. We're morning here, so it's good to see some worldwide interaction going on here. I laughed a little bit, and I'm not trying to call out the real Mathis here, but he said, first live episode of one of the YouTube crypto goats, let's go, which is awesome that you're here, but real Mathis, we've been doing this for a couple of months now, so so we're happy that you're here, but join us Monday, Wednesday, Fridays for our live episodes, and yeah, let's get this party started.
Let's do it. Join me, Rainmakers. All right, so let's give away some WAN chain today. I didn't watch the clock closely on Friday and ran out of time to do our giveaway on Friday. So we want to reward those who watched Friday's episode, but that are on today. We will also start this week's giveaway today, and we will finalize it Friday. This will allow those in the live stream, as well as those who watch in the next few days, a chance to win this week's giveaway, which we will announce the winners on Friday. On to why we're here, not just today, but every day. Fair to say that's life-changing wealth. Now, for some, it is life-changing wealth and some other reasons. For some, exotic cars, possibly a yacht, possibly even a private island. But it's easily encapsulated in that term, life-changing wealth. Now, is it helpful to get really clear about what we want and where we want to go? I find it is, because that helps us focus like a laser beam on it and helps us stick in when the going gets super rough. And you've all seen that the past few months, haven't you? Now, it's easy because of the monotony of the day-to-day in crypto that we lose focus of where we are really trying to go. And I suggest today that you take just a minute right now and you write down a number. The number that you want to get to. For everyone, this number is different, but do yourselves a favor and today write it down, type it down, or somehow take it down somewhere where you can fix it strongly in your mind. Do you got it? I'm just going to give you a moment to just, it's important that you write that number down. All right. Everyone have their number? Okay. So, next step, and this is just as important, 10x that number.
Yikes.
Whatever it was.
That was my reaction. I'm like, uh-oh. that feels a little big, Jay.
10x that number. Now, did you feel that stretch? It should feel like a very uncomfortable stretch. It's pretty hard. It was hard enough to imagine that first number, wasn't it? And it's pretty hard to imagine that new number. And if it isn't, then you want to make your original number a higher number. The higher number you were really thinking of putting, but you didn't put down because it seemed too high. Yeah. So if that first number was a high number and kind of a stretch, then 10xing that should have really stretched you. Now, you have this new number, and it's a really high number that seems too high, you can't attain it. Let me ask you a question, though. Why is it that it seems so unattainable? Is it fair to say that over the next 5 years, it's doable? So then, here is the real question, the most important question that you can have going through your mind over the coming weeks and months and even coming years. What additional things would I need to learn or do that make the higher number possible? That's what you want to put your subconscious to work for you. And you're already going to start getting some ideas. Go ahead and take a minute to write those down or note those down. You want to listen to those ideas, and when they come to you, you want to write them down immediately and just put them down somewhere that you can then transfer them into some place where you organize yourself. So whatever ones have come to you right now, write those down. And you don't have to, just jot them down somewhere where later you can really process them. Whatever they are, write them down, note them down, so that later, when you're doing kind of your review and your processing, you can have those down. Now, it is amazing, these magnificent brains that we've been given. These human brains are truly very powerful. Do you realize your brain right now is solving life-changing problems for you? And all you have to do right now is write down the answers it is giving you. It is laying out your plan specific to you right now. A plan specifically made for you. So here's the bigger question. Can you get started on that plan? Are you wanting that future bad enough that you can start implementing at least some of those things and work up to more of them? What you've just done is you are now putting the most powerful computer in the world to work for you. That computer was created by the creator himself, and when we put our subconscious to work for us, our results are much, much higher. So why this exercise today? If we don't know where we're going, we don't often get there. Wouldn't you agree? There are things we all know that would greatly benefit us towards the future, but we have been putting off getting started. And now you have a chance to think differently. Now, this isn't financial advice, and if your answer was to take leveraged long positions, you're increasing your risk to the point that your chances of failure have risen dramatically. A successful path does not involve leverage longs. A successful path includes to-do items that you have control over, like, say, research 1 hour per day, meditate for 20 minutes a day, tune into the Crypto Rain channel every episode, plus listen to 2 hours of additional videos while commuting to work. Engage with a community and make friends that think like me, that are committed to crypto success and are not wishy-washy. Perhaps it's listen to Raoul Pal's vision of where crypto is going at least once per week to help you refocus and remember exactly why you're here. Now your brain is going to, by the way, that's Raoul Pal. If you haven't found him on YouTube, look up Real Vision. That's the channel that he mainly runs. So he's got all kinds of other people on there. But if you listen to one video of his, he's constantly talking about the direction that the metaverse and where crypto is going. And so that's what you're trying to set in on. Now, when you do this, your brain is going to help you create this custom roadmap that you no longer dwell on this thought process. It goes to work for you, and it's going to say, I'm serious about this. How do I make it happen? Now, why the bigger figure? Because it actually is achievable. We often overestimate what we can do in the short term, but seriously underestimate what we can do in the long term. So commit yourself to be here for 5 years if you haven't already. I frequently talk about this 5-year game plan. And it's really important because if you don't give yourself long enough in crypto, you've likely overestimated what you could do in the short term, got disheartened, you leave the space, but you had vastly underestimated what you could have done in the long term. You just didn't give yourself long enough to be here. So another essential ingredient to success is commit to be here not just for this cycle, this bull run, but the crypto winter that follows, like sticking around and being here, tuning in and learning and growing during that crypto winter, waiting for the bottom to redeploy capital into really inexpensive projects, and then taking that following bull run upwards. Now, by following this system and path, you have taken your probability of success in crypto from 5% up to 60 to 98%. It could be as low as 60%. It really depends on what doors you are putting on your path to go through. Now, I went through this myself. It was 2020, and I felt like it was close to the bottom of the market. I had been waiting for the bottom of the market so I could take that upside. And prices showed these very nice, rounded, mostly flat bottoms. And I had been doing dollar cost averaging in during the bear market. And unfortunately, I didn't time it all perfect. My portfolio was down less than half of what I had put in. But I didn't mind it when buying. I don't mind it when buying low if it goes lower and I can buy more. I don't love it because if you knew where the absolute bottom is, you would just wait with all your capital deployed there. But that's expecting something that's not real. Now, some of you might have been dollar cost averaging in, and now your portfolio is down to less than what you put in. This happens all the time when buying lows and buying these larger retracements like what we've experienced. But by doing so, you have put yourself on a trajectory already. Stretching your mind to additional goals gives more fuel to that trajectory and helps you keep focused. Now, my goal during this time period in 2020 that I was looking and I was thinking about all these things was $1.7 million. And I felt like that was achievable, maybe, but that was a stretch. But then when I wrote down 17 million, that really stretched my mind, and I started to ask myself the question, what things would I have to do differently to achieve 17 million in that same time frame? Now, interestingly enough, I crossed that original goal way early because it got me thinking and it got me doing even more with the same amount of time, and it got me really focused on that higher goal. Now, I don't know for sure if I'll hit that 17 million this run, but I'm positioned to, and I believe it's going to happen because the focus shift this little change has done for me, and my guess is it will work for you. And it will make you much more effective as you put your subconscious to work for you. Also, if you can journal this experience in some way, it documents your journey, and this is going to help stabilize you and your entire path, as well as keep it focused. Now, I know many of you probably don't like journaling and everything. It is helpful in some way to document it, just in some way as you focus this. And so this is a trajectory that I put myself on, and I know it works because it got me really focused. It got me focused on reaching out and meeting more people, because what I realized is I was missing out on lots of opportunities because I'm just one person. And so it got me really growing my network, and a lot of that network led me to then projects I would have otherwise missed. It led me to understanding new things, as well as new opportunities that came just from knowing some people. I then started this YouTube channel because I was like, I don't have specifically the network that I want in crypto. And so since nobody's created the community I really want to be a part of, then I guess I'm going to have to go out and create that community. And that together, one of my earliest goals on this crypto YouTube channel was, as we got big enough, we could have some of the top projects that right now won't speak to me because I'm just an investor. But if we had a YouTube community, I could get them to come on the show and not only speak to me, but speak to the audience. And part of the reason I had to make live episodes on this, because I was doing lots of recorded videos with the author, like the different projects, but that didn't give me the ability to give you direct access. So part of my goal was eventually to have a live stream so that we could have them on and you could have direct access too. That through this community, we were getting farther because we had access to the teams. Now, if you followed this channel for a while, you know that I'd like to understand who the team is, because that has such an important relation with how successful the project is. All right. Did I overwhelm you? Did I overload you with things to do? You don't have to overwhelm yourself today. This starts you on a trajectory. If you wrote that first number and you wrote that second number, your subconscious is already going to work for you, and you're going to have in your mind popping up some ideas. You're just human. You don't have to implement that all today. Just be open to what things your mind tells you will get you to that higher number, and then do them, and you will be amazed the difference that one thing, this one episode, will make in the next 5 years for you. All right, let me take a look at the chat. Don't leave us when you get rich, Jay. Well, I haven't left you yet. I could, but I haven't. I committed. If you guys commit for the next 5 years, I will too. All right. Yep. Stardust Run was telling him. Yeah, so we got about 4.5 years left of that 5 years. Beyond that, I make no promises. All right, Omi is going to melt faces. You're so right on that.
I love that he comes in almost every live stream and says that same thing.
Dude,
every time it comes in, I laugh.
And he's so right too. What's funny is we're, it's kind of like the Todd McFarlane, and I dedicated a couple of videos to the Todd McFarlane Veve Collectible. I was like, there is no way this just doesn't do really, really well. And what's funny is, back in those days, I was talking a lot about WAN Chain and Cardano and other things, and there were some people that wanted nothing to do with NFTs in my audience that were like, oh, I hate it when you cover these dumb things. And what's funny is, specifically, those have from $80 to like $15,000, almost 200x'd. So for every Todd McFarlane you bought, your wealth has increased exponentially. And OMI, I feel like I felt then when I was saying Todd McFarlane's going to do really well. Right now, speaking about the OMI price, so that it's going to go absolutely crazy. So when he's in here saying that, a very smart statement. I think it will too. Not you, OMI says. Not you, O says. I'm in the Todd gang as well. Congratulations, brother. Good freaking job. There's a lot of people that passed up that opportunity. The ones who moved on it was only $80. For every $80 you put in, man, that is some serious life-changing wealth, that alone. All right, let's take a look at the Bitcoin chart and see how this is going to help us on our journey.
Jay. We got to do the WAN Chain giveaway. Our whole agenda's on the side now, so we don't follow it.
This is a new thing.
There's going to be freaking mutiny in the audience.
All right, how do you guys like this?
A lot of good comments right at the beginning. They were like, whoa, everything looks awesome. But they might have been talking about my shaved face. I don't know.
All right. So the first person who can tell us what one of the main points on for the topic on Friday's live stream was, now it rhymes with resting. We looked specifically at something related to the Immutable X token releases, at some possibilities on why. Though, why Immutable X, though it is a really hot project, the price has been declining. Ooh. Vesting.
Looks like Marcus Di Giovanni.
Marcus Di Giovanni, we need your Telegram ID, so D can get that and note that down, so that through Telegram, because if you put your WAN Chain address or MetaMask address in this, it'll just delete it. So we need your... Good job. Like, tons of people nailed it about the same time. But Marcus Di Giovanni was the first. So he is our winner for Friday's giveaway.
That was interesting to see those vesting charts. And then also, and we talked about it with OMI as well, right? And
we realized that a whole bunch of ecosystem releases, as well as team vesting, happened all last year, which makes sense why the price took so long to really rebound.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I don't know if we'll look at OMI's chart today later, but it really does. I mean, it's that triangle it's constricting. I can't remember. I can never think of that term, but it just feels like that's gonna pop quick and melt faces, as people are saying.
That is one of our ones on today that we will look at. So our second giveaway is not just for those who are watching today's episode live, but anyone watching this prior to Friday's live stream. I want to hear what goals you're making in the comment section below, as well as what your number 1 number was and what your number 2 number was, your 10x of that. So I want to hear what your monetary goal was, as well as the 10x of that, as well as what other goals you're making with that. And we'll pick a winner on Friday. So what you say there is totally up to you. I'm not going to base it based on that. It's going to be randomly picked from those who filled that in and filled it in well, not just some basic like $1 million and that's it. That kind of entry won't count. It's got to be like detailed. We're trying to interact with you. We're trying to get to know you better and what your goals are. I do get great interaction through our Telegram group. If you haven't joined that already, join that. If you tag me on there, I do see it. And specifically a lot of interaction with our Patreon members that get access to our private Discord, which is a whole lot of fun, and I do reserve some of the alpha specifically for them first before anyone else gets it. All right. Let me go to Bitcoin chart. There we go. So here we are, and we broke out of this pattern. What's interesting is it broke out and it came back and it retested perfectly. Like, this is textbook. And then it tried to break beneath it and then it's like, nope. And then it broke higher. What's amazing is it blasted through this level where I have this green line. Look how strong this resistance was. You have resistance from here, 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 not so much there, but definitely here, even here, and it just blasted through it. And my guess is what's happening right now is a lot of shorts are getting liquidated, and that's part of why this is so steep. Let's go to the 1 hour view. Yep, and it just keeps pushing up. And so this is good news. Now, sometimes it'll do this little fake out. That doesn't mean all the pain is over. It just means the pain might be over. But this is definitely bullish news here. The only thing I'm waiting for is if there's like some negative news out of the U.S. I know Biden, the president of the U.S., is looking to make some changes in crypto. And I don't think that he's very favorable, though he hasn't been clear on it. But he did appoint Janet Yellen, and she has not been crypto-friendly, and she seems like she is heavily in the pocket or somehow affiliated with some banks that don't want crypto to happen, or if they do, they want their control on it. That's just my feeling I get from the things that she's doing. So to really know what people believe in, I see what kind of proposals they put forward and what are the implications of those proposals. And so that's what I get from Janet Yellen. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that's Biden's opinions on it. Just means likely it is. And we'll see. I don't know. Mike Novogratz, who I thought was really in touch with the Democrat Party in the U.S., he thought Biden would be very favorable on crypto. This was back during the election season. And so did a lot of other big crypto whales. And so we'll see. Maybe he's right on that, and we just haven't seen it yet. I hope so. All right. Yep, short squeeze going on. This is kind of like what happened at GameStop, and they got a whole bunch of people to create this short squeeze. Because what happens when somebody's short? In order to cancel their short position, essentially they have to buy Bitcoin. And so as these shorts get liquidated, it causes a buy, and that then further pushes it up when there's a whole bunch of people short and it goes the other way. And that sometimes creates this really fast rise here. So it's been a couple good few days, the 4th of February. Now, do you remember on the 2nd, I was telling you I felt like this was the bottom, and that like we were going to someday look back at February 2nd and wish we could buy at those numbers. And specifically, I said that on February 2nd. And we would be ever so happy to buy again at these numbers on February 2nd. Well, so far it's looking like that's exactly right. We'll see how this plays out, though. It could come back down all the way to these levels. Just looking very bullish temporarily, and I suspect that a lot of the pain is over. I can't say I know that it is. All right, let's take a look at these altcoin charts. I specifically want to look at some that I called out in our Patreon channel for our gold members that I was loading up on, though I gave some hints to our regular Patreon members of what I was loading up on. And one of them was OMI, which I've talked about on this channel too, how bullish I am on OMI. And although my bags were really heavy on OMI already, I just was seeing this triangular constriction pattern, and it just is awesome. I just really like where this is going. And so it's going to break out of this pattern at some point, and you can actually take this back farther like this, and likely it's going to break up from here. And when it does, I mean, it's been in this pattern for a very long time. My guess is it's going to break up really solidly, especially since if you didn't check out, was it Friday's episode, we went through and found a chart on their token vesting. And we were amazed at how many ecosystem and team tokens all vested all of last year. In fact, a little bit still of it happening Q1 this year, but then that all ends. So a lot of the team and ecosystem tokens were getting given to the team, and they were cool because they ICO'd back in 2018, or was their pre-sale. And so that meant that they gave themselves like a 3-year lockup and stuff. Well, year 3 was last year. And so they were getting their tokens, and my guess, those tokens were way, way up, like 200x up. So a lot of them were probably selling them at these prices where they were extremely profitable. And so that put some downward pressure, which has held this back. Think of it like a rubber band pulling back, pulling back, pulling back. And at some point, it is going to fly from here. So that's why OMI makes number one here. A lot of this stuff is risky. My risk tolerance is really, really high. So for me, it's like OMI's within my risk tolerance, which is really high. OMI's is sure of a bet that as I can take in my own opinion for myself in my own portfolio. And so I went heavier on OMI, especially because it's been dancing around these prices I'm very happy with. Another one that I loaded up on was VRA. And I actually loaded up right at the bottom. Specifically 3rd of February, and I posted it in Patreon to our Patreon members that I loaded up on VRA. Didn't know if it would keep going down from here, but I was like, look at this flattening bottom. I'm very happy with it. Veracity is going to do really well. It's not as cheap as the way it was in July's massive pullback, but it's almost as cheap. It's only 2x from there. I'm really happy with that, and I loaded up on Veracity. Now, frick this. Like, I hate it when it does this before I can bring you guys the news. Is it still cheap? Yes. It's just not as cheap. It's almost 2x on where I was buying it.
I feel like, did we talk about the chart at the end of the live stream on Friday? I feel like we did. Am I crazy?
We gave you some hints, yeah. VRA, we talked about it too on Friday. So, and Friday was what, the 3rd? Or the 4th?
No, 4th, February 4th.
Yeah, and it had just started going up like this.
Yeah, J24 says I also got into VRA after that video.
Good job, brother. See, I can't give you financial advice. I can just tell you what I'm doing. And then whatever decisions you make off your own research is what we have to leave it at, because I'm not a financial advisor. I don't want to be. All right. Another one is Federa, and it's up 20%. And what's funny is, like, I was looking up the ICO price on Federa, right? And so according to CryptoRank, Federa's ICO price was 15 cents. And so it's currently trading at, what, 6 cents? So, boy, what's great is when they make some announcements on this, we don't have a crystal ball. We don't know what the future is like. But they have these major partnerships for massive distribution to put crypto gift cards into all these retail outlets. As crypto goes crazy, when they make these announcements, my guess is this token price goes nuts. I don't know that that'll happen for sure. We brought them on to speak to you before we interviewed them, so you could get a feel for the founders. I like this price. I loaded up on some more Federa this past week. Just letting you know, it's up a little bit. See, it did this jump. Bam, jumped up to there. So it was as low as like close to 5 cents. It's still only at 6 cents. So still really cheap. It's a lot cheaper. It's less than half the ICO price or IDO price. So yeah, I like that. Federa, we still have our giveaways when we reach over 25,000 subscribers. We will be giving away some Federa. Yeah, there we go. We got them. The 401Js for you. Cortex hasn't launched yet. I did retweet something where you can get, if you go to their, I think it's Cortex app, if you find them on Twitter, they have a tweet that if you retweet it, you can essentially get a domain name for free using the Cortex app of your Twitter handle. So check out their site for that. We will be giving away, we essentially invested $1,000 into each of these. That gives us $1,000 bags to give away to you guys at the pre-sale prices, or no, I think it was at the IDO price. Anyway, right now that IDO price is down, but trust me, when those announcements come out, I can't say that it will go crazy. It's just I don't see why it wouldn't go crazy is an accurate statement. All right. So what else was I looking at heavily? Spores. And it is crazy down. It had this little blip here, and I was like, oh, shoot, I want more. But I didn't want to buy at these prices. And sure enough, it came back down. I was like, okay, fantastic. Load up time. And I already have a bunch of Spores. I've been loading up this whole time. So now I have even more Spores. I was trading it right on Gate.io, where you can get a lot of these. It takes a little bit to get familiar with Gate.io. If you haven't signed up yet, use our referral link because you'll get up to 20% of your own trading commissions back. There's no reason not to use it. So if you just go to them directly to create an account, you can, but forever, you won't get that 20% of your own trading fees back. So use our link to save yourself some money.
Jay, there's a couple questions about Spores. First of all, Felix asks, is Spores in the same category like OMI?
Kind of. OMI went very smart. They went and created their own app. So most, like Terra Virtua hasn't gone that route. Spores hasn't gone that route. OMI was the only one who did that. And it was a brave move because they got a lot of crap for having their own app, and that is not truly an NFT and stuff, because like you couldn't trade it on OpenSea, and it was centralized through their app. Like they could shut down your account if they thought you were using bots to get things on the drop. So in some ways it is a centralized system. Spores is more of a decentralized system, kind of the way Terra Virtual Collect has gone and some of the other projects. So Spores is also like 3 years behind Ecomi, right? Ecomi has become the leader with the very best intellectual property. However, you can't get OMI near their IDO prices or their pre-sale prices right now, right? It's like up 200x from even where it was at the bottom of the crypto winter. And so even though it's at like 0.7 cents, it was at a fraction of a cent before. And so its market cap is like, it says 4 billion, I think, on the market cap. That's kind of inaccurate because even though those tokens are out there, some of those are ecosystem tokens that aren't really, it says in circulating supply. Figure about half of this is truly in circulating supply. So I would say the true market cap is around 2.1 billion. Well, then look at Spores market cap and you're like, oh, it's 1.8 million. So it is in the same category. Can they become as big as Ecomi? I don't know. Ecomi's got a huge head start, and Ecomi's going to grow from here. But they don't have to do. If this goes to 1.8 billion, right near where Spores is, that is a 1,000x. So let's say they hit 40% of where Ecomi is at now. That's a really, really good profit. We brought on their leadership so that you could meet them about a week ago in our live stream, so you could feel out for yourselves. Part of the reason I'm a big believer in this project is I really like their leadership in their team, and I think they've got fantastic potential. They have amazing connections to get some intellectual property. They're really dialed into some of the Asian market and the games that are up and coming, and will become one of the NFT marketplaces for a lot of those. So they're still early in their journey. Give them some space and room to roll out their vision. Remember, they've only been public for, we can actually kind of figure it out here, since July their token's been trading. So all right, another good one to take a look at, AIOZ. I loaded up on this as well. Darn them, because the price has been going up, but it's not up substantially. It was down at 18 cents. It's up at 21 cents. And who knows, sometimes when you have this skyrocket of a thing, it does do a bounce and retracement. So just because it's going green, you don't know if it's going to keep going green. And even if it is going green, it will have some retracement periods in here. So what I did was, like, I just had this feeling February 2nd, okay, my spider senses are tingling, the spider senses that tell me we're near the bottom of the market. This may not be it, but this is it. Like all these big signs are saying we're taking off soon. And so some of these alt caps that are small altcoins that have been devastated by this pullback, it's time to load up on it as much as I want. So that's what I've been doing. AIOZ, way cheap. AIOZ's launch price, now it's still up from its ICO price, or IDO price. It's up 15x from its IDO price, which was 1.5 cents. And if you look on the chart, it never went that low, right? It went to 10x, close to 10x of the IDO price. So it's still up, but their market cap's only 83 million. It's a big enough project that it could go to 10x of this, possibly 100x of this. I've been stocking up while it's cheap. Veracity, this is the website for them. It's just elegant and beautiful, but yeah, I covered them a lot earlier this year. I'm not going to do a dedicated video on them now. There's lots of dedicated videos out there on Veracity if you want to learn more. But another one that I finally bought was Gala Games, and you know, they all of a sudden rebounded like crazy. And so I did let our Discord members know that I'd bought in Gala. I don't remember if we said that on Friday in the live stream.
No, I don't think that we did.
And then it just, you know, it almost doubled. Don't FOMO in at this, right? There's usually some kind of bounce back, almost always. And if not, don't chase green candles. There's other boats showing up at the dock. Don't jump off the dock. Swim after someone that, you know, one that got away and exhaust your resources. It's best to get on them when, you know, they're at the dock and you can load up on them. Another one that I added that I didn't have any previous was UFO gaming. And so I bought a little bit of UFO gaming. I wouldn't say a lot, but it's one that I wanted some exposure to. I was not going to buy in at these prices. Unfortunately for me, I'd missed these low prices. So this boat came back to dock, and I caught it while it was at dock. It's not terribly expensive either now, but its market cap is 422 million. So how high can this go? Can this 100x from here? Eesh. I don't see that. Though it looks like the circulating supply and the total supply are equal, and I like to see that kind of thing. But 100x from here would take it to a $42 billion market cap. I don't know if that's going to happen, but it is one that I absolutely wanted some exposure to. Speaking of exposure, I was able to pick up 5 of these. This, you know, one of our strategic partners, and they will be giving away. We're working out how to get those NFTs for the giveaway in the coming week, so that we can give away some Kitsumon eggs. But if you're interested in picking them up, they did just have an announcement on Twitter on how these two things will be running simultaneously through their website. So the only way that I ever go to projects' websites is I look them up on like CoinGecko, and I click on it right from CoinGecko, because there are like fraudulent sites all the time, and then they try to get you to connect to your MetaMask wallet, and once you do, your tokens are theirs. So the way I always do it is I find them on CoinGecko, and then I click on the link there. Alright, so you'll be able to buy them right from their site coming up soon on the 8th of February. So that is tomorrow. Now this is one I'm interested in. It has kind of a Pokemon feel. It will have a little bit of like you can fish with your character. You can train up your pets. I like what they're doing. They went through a rigorous screening process before we allowed them to be a strategic partnership of the channel. And so we've had them on too, and you've had a chance to listen to them. I think a lot of NFT projects are going to really pump in the coming 6 months, even some of the bad ones. But then all but the best will get eviscerated. And it's hard to tell what will be the best. Some of that will be revealed in the coming 3 to 4 or 5 months. So a lot of projects that have a strong narrative, that have a good plan, they'll do really well during the next number of months. They're really, really bullish if it plays out like I think it will, and I'm pretty sure it will. And so I'm looking at some great up-and-coming projects. Kitsumon is one of those. I also have some upcoming videos I want to share with you. But before we do that, let's look over at the question. Just take some Q&A here. Doctor of Stuff says, yes, the 401Js. I haven't forgotten about those. We're just not at the 25,000 subscribers yet, and when we cross that, we will start giving those away.
Randy Crypto Savage asks, did you do the staking for Spores? I think he tried to talk to us about that last week. I can't remember the details, but it's like a 90% APR or something like that.
It was pretty good. I don't remember what the lockup was, but the lockup, I was like, I think I ended up staking some while keeping some available. But I don't have it on this computer, so I can't double check exactly where it's at and how much I staked. I don't remember.
Yeah, he says 90% for 6 months. So Rhododendro, hey Jay, what do you think about SundaeSwap and the whole ADA space in general now? Good time to put some more money in there?
I don't know what SundaeSwap's price is. I think it's vastly pumped, which is part of what caused that rift. They had promised some things to, what is the Cardano Launchpad? Card Starter, I think, right? Card Starter and them had that rift, and they had made some promises to Card Starter, and Card Starter then made those promises to their community. And then they're like, oh, wait, we meant this much in value, not that much in tokens. Sorry, yeah, because the token price 15x, we're only going to give you 1/15 of the tokens. And they're like, wait, that's not what the deal was. So I don't know what their price is. I did use SundaeSwap twice over the last few days. And it took forever, but it did work. So I was like, wow, literally my first transaction took like over half a day on their swap, but it did go through. So cool. I mean, it is so cool to have swap functionality on Cardano, though it's not the kind of swap functionality we're used to. It does give SundaeSwap an edge. Like, congratulations to them. At least they're the first major one that I'm aware of that has swappable, like, contracts that go through. I've done 2 now, and it totally went through, and I'm excited about that. So hopefully more come out and have that ability, and that it then can swap pretty instantaneously like we're used to. But congratulations to them for nailing that, and being the first, it's a big deal. So the Cardano community, I think Cardano is primed and ready. In fact, let's look at it. Cardano has been going up like crazy, like a rocket ship, because of that. And partly I credit SundaeSwap for delivering on their stuff. Right here. So it did bottom out below, several times I saw it below $1. And so now it's up 20% from there at almost $1.20. And so their chart looks really, really good too. If you look at, it's actually broken out. Well, it depends on where you draw this line, but if you draw it, other than this wick up that came right back down, you draw it where the base is. It's broken out above it, came back on resistance, and then it's going out. A lot of times in charting, they won't take this kind of one-off that it went and then came right back in. So if you move it here, it's still broken out above it, right? But that doesn't really line up. That lines up a lot better. You could say this is the line here, and it hasn't broken out. So a lot of it is opinion. This is where the resistance, where it's stuck so far. Could it still come down below and break through it? It could. But Cardano has been trading sideways for a long time, and that doesn't, like, Cardano is a strong third-generation blockchain that I think has a very bright future. So I'm expecting good things from Cardano. I did take I sold some more of my Cardano to roll it into some of these projects that were at deep discounts, because I asked myself, best case scenario, where could Cardano go from here? $30. That's 30x from here. Best case scenario, where could these other ones go from here? And they were much closer to 50 or 100x. And so as much as I love Cardano, I just had too much of my portfolio in it still. And I hated selling it near like $1, $1.05, and $1.12. But I was putting into projects that could go farther during a time that I'm happy being riskier, because during upswings, the riskier projects swing up higher. During pullbacks, though, they get savaged. And that just shares with you that I'm really bullish over the coming months, that my guess is it plays out very, very well. What else we got in there?
Not much right now. Let's move on. You want to talk about the upcoming videos?
Yeah, so some upcoming videos. Look for tomorrow. I have one with Volcano NFTs. Now, the Spanish community is coming online in crypto. Think of how many countries speak Spanish. Spain, Central, and all of South America, as well as many people throughout the US, Canada, and other places. It's a Tier 1 project, the first NFT game with its own cinematic miniseries coming. AAA characters and assets. So look for that video tomorrow at the same time as our live stream today. Another video coming up possible involvement with Messi, yeah, the soccer player, or football, depending on what part of the world you're in. Also with BitBoy, interestingly enough. They have deals with the top YouTubers totaling 130 million followers. Now, when I say top YouTubers, we're not talking about crypto YouTubers. We're talking about top YouTubers, as well as a AAA level game developer studio behind it, where some of their team members have worked on Marvel, Ubisoft, Riot. Specifically, the ones with Marvel worked on Spider-Man. Also, some of them did Mad Max. Known intellectual property from the 1990s, and a free-to-play online multiplayer game. And we'll be covering them more in depth. All right, we did our WAN chain giveaway. Did we get the name for that?
You know what? We got the name. I don't know that he ever gave us the Telegram handle. It's Marcus Di Giovanni. There's some arguing in the chat. I guess apparently it comes up differently, depending on where you are. Both Jay and I on our studio, his came up first. So apologies to anybody who it showed their chat up. You know what I mean? Maybe it gives it for them, right? Like if they type it in, it like puts theirs above. But in the studio, we both got Marcus. But I pinged him and I haven't gotten his Telegram handle yet. So
Marcus, we do need your Telegram while we're in here, because it's the only way we can completely verify it is you.
He just sent it to us.
Perfect.
Cool.
All right. Let's see. Other than that, looks rare is a Ponzi. I have not looked into that, but I didn't like that they were copying too many names. So I kind of actually looked at looks rare for a second and then dismissed looking at it at all. Keep hitting those likes, says Stardust Run. Make it rain on that like. And it's a pain during the live stream because you have to close out the chat, hit the like button, and then reopen the chat again so that you can get back into it. But if you haven't done that, do us a huge favor and do it. Web Zombie says, I'm always good. What's up, WAN fam? Know much about the Olympic Games, Jam? I don't.
Yeah, it's an NFT, some type of an NFT game that the Olympics are doing. I'm not exactly sure, but
Rhododendro asked a good question. Let's answer that. I'm going to answer that really quick. I told our Patreon members that I completely loaded up on these P. Lee Fantasy collectibles. I have, I think, 40 of the commons. I don't know much about what is popular in Taiwan, but I am blessed enough that my sister, her boyfriend, is from Taiwan. And so we reached out to him, or at least one of my family members did, and said, how big of a deal are these P. Fantasy ones? And he said they're really, really big deal in Taiwan. Huge, gigantic. And most of America, Canada, UK, and stuff won't get that about these. So I loaded up. I have 5 or 6 of the ultra rares. But I guess the common character is the one that everyone really wants. So the P. Fantasy people wanted to put it as a more rare character, but Veve convinced them to make it the common so as many people as possible could get it. So they made the popular character the common one. I love the way the ultra rare looks, and actually the rare one as well. And the uncommon one, you'll see that the uncommon is going for less than the common one. So I loaded up on those. So that's part of my Veve strategy. A lot of my Veve strategy is the cheap collectibles and OMI right now. So I'm not buying the things that are $20,000, $40,000, $50,000. Not that they can't go up tremendously from here. It's just that the risk is higher. So the newer collectibles that are undervalued because they just released and, all the bots are just turning around and flipping them, because we all know bots are getting at least half the drops, if not more. And they're turning around and flipping them for a quick 10x. Well, if I like it, I'm going to go ahead and pick it up. And these commons were trading for, I think, what was the drop? 50 gems or 30 gems?
I think it was 40.
40 gems.
And I saw them at 48 or 50, the commons.
Yeah, a lot of them I wasn't able to get the ones below 50 because somebody was so much faster. So I was mostly buying them from $51 to $57, depending on the mint number. And then it's gone up, and now they're, I bought some more today. I think I paid $80 because the commons have gone up. So I've been loading up over the past 3 days on them. That's part of my strategy, as well as looking for other drops that come out that there's something about them that's special. And during the 3 or 4 days after, where like the bots are flipping them and stuff, if they seem like the price is good, I'm picking them up. Other than that, I'm throwing new money mostly into the OMI token because I think it's vastly undervalued, and in personal opinion. So I look at where can it go from here, and when this breaks out, I think it's going to be massive, and it'll go to 5 cents. Like when it breaks above this 1.4 cents, it's going to go crazy and probably go to 6 cents, pull back some, and then it will hit some really, really high numbers. I mean, let's specifically look at the fib channel isn't what we want. Oh, looks like we will have to save that for the next episode. I was going to put a fib retracement pattern on it. I want to thank all of you for joining us. Are you ready to join the Rainmaker family? Join the Navy SEALs of crypto to level up your crypto game? Do note this channel isn't for everyone. Our goal isn't to be the biggest YouTube channel, but is to help create the most informed audience of crypto, which we believe will lead to the wealthiest audience. So thank you for joining us. If you haven't already, hit that like button and make it rain, because you know what they say, no rain, no gain.
Came into the space chasing all of the gains, chasing the pumps and all of the hype trains. But like in life, you buy before you're good. Was taught to buy when it was pouring like a rainmaker should. I buy when it's down, don't chase the boats that I miss. Cause I always make the time in mind. I sit the one out cause I'm patient like that, and I'll wait for the right time. I sell when it's high, I buy when it's low. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm just a rainmaker running the show. Calculated investments, I don't lead with my heart. Principles are simple, they're leaving a mark. Buy when it's boring, just gotta be smart. I sell when it's hype, like all the channels they pump it. That's when I was selling, go parabolic, then dump it. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm a rainmaker, making my own start. I'm with the future, learning the past. Makes it time fly by, years going so fast. The game plan is mine, I'll own it now. When I reach the top, haters asking me how. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love. And I follow what I learn, not relying on luck. The time is never better, the time like the present. This next 5 years is a gift and it's feeling like heaven. I'm committed to learn, to study and to know that nothing comes easy, but when knowledge you gain show. Sticking out this road, cause soon will come a bear market. Learning and growing, and when it's slow will be the target. They say it's come out, Bitcoin is dead. The massive decreases can get to your head. Sticking around, the time is better. I'm strong like that, I'll let the others be fretters. 2 years time, the ball will bring back the gains. That makes it worth the effort, cause here comes the rain. So let's go rainmakers, let's make it all happen. Let go with the hate, let the haters be crapping. I'm here for 5 years, let's do this together. The time is right, the time could be better. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm a rainmaker, making my own start. I'm with the future, learning the past. Makes it time fly by, years going so fast. This game plan is mine, I'll own it now. When I reach the top, haters asking me how. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love. And I follow what I learn, not relying on luck. Haters be hating, but time to slow down. Addressing what they say when I'm wearing my crown. They're chasing green candles like someone who was new. I got a vision that was bigger, helping me to push through. I'm still human and sometimes it is rough. And that's what makes me special, simply I stay tough. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love. And I follow what I learn, not relying on luck.